The swap for the SV650 has huge shoes to fill. Suzuki doesn't precisely carry new models out of the industrial facility consistently, so the appearance of a really new model is cause for some festival. Supplanting the adored SV650 was continuously going to be troublesome, and Suzuki hasn't genuinely attempted to do as such. The new GSX-8S sharing something else for all intents and purpose with the GSX-S1000. Be that as it may, as a middleweight bare roadster, correlations will definitely be made with the SV650, and a nearby look uncovers a lot to whet the hunger, including another equal twin-chamber motor, boundlessly upgraded hardware, easy contrasted with the simple SV650, and another case. This is the very thing that you want to be aware. Some will regret the deficiency of the SV650's V-twin, yet actually an equal twin is substantially more smaller and subsequently simpler to ideally bundle. The driving force of the new GSX-8S has an uprooting of 776 cc, 2 above camshafts, 4 valves for each chamber, 270-degree wrench giving the vibe and power conveyance of a V-twin. Also, a significantly more fascinating exhaust note. 83 strength and 57.5 foot-pounds of force are the outcome, and vibrations are dealt with by twin balancer shafts, one for every cylinder. In the event that past Suzuki motors are anything to go by, the new motor ought to be very underfocused and rough, albeit never dull and tiresome. There are valid justifications why such countless makers are seeing equal twin motors over V-twins. Right off the bat, an equal twin has a portion of the quantity of chamber barrels and heads, so it very well may be a lot lighter and less expensive to produce. Besides, an equal twin is significantly more conservative than a V-twin, whether a 90-degree chamber point or a 45-degree chamber point. An equal twin's actual size is a lot more modest, helping with bundling all the ancillaries, yet additionally with bringing together the general mass, which has benefits in calibrating the case elements. More reduced bundling additionally assists fashioners with involving the motor for more than one style of bike. All new from front to back with a steel tube lattice casing and aluminum swing arm. In spite of the smaller equal twin motor, the Suzuki GSX-8S has the longest wheelbase in the class, at 57.5 crawls, as well as more weight than many opponents, 445 pounds, contrasted with 419 pounds for the CB750 Hornet, albeit the Suzuki is lighter than the Kawasaki Z900 and BMW F900R, the two of which add to a determinedly established feel, and the additional weight isn't exactly a punishment as it is worn low out. The riding position is somewhat forward of upstanding, which is precisely exact thing you need in any riding circumstance. KYB handles the suspension obligations, and Suzuki has picked to keep things straightforward by offering no change by any stretch of the imagination, separated from a touch of preload on the back shock. As far as settings, Suzuki has gone for a firmer vibe, which offers greater solidness in an assortment of riding circumstances, including while utilizing all the presentation while riding as hard as possible. You can feel that corners have been reduced in the suspension expenses, however it isn't anything to stress over except if you are considering heaving it around at course speeds, it is completely fine. Suzuki has most certainly gone for a firmer setup than any semblance of the Honda CG750 Hornet or Yamaha MT-07, which implies the unique level is higher. A major move forward from the SV650, yet at the same time not what you could call extensive in present-day terms, as there is no inside estimation unit with the arrangement for lean delicate footing control and cornering ABS. What you really do get are 3 riding modes, with contrasting choke reaction, 3 degrees of foothold control, which can be switched off totally, fixed ABS, low RPM help to forestall slowing down, and a bi-directional quickshifter. This is controlled through the now mandatory full variety TFT run. If you have any desire to travel significant distance, you're restricted to manual choke control as there's no voyage control. 6 velocities in the gearbox is nothing unexpected nowadays, and Suzuki has given it a slip and help hold to ease up the tension expected at the switch, as well as lessen the propensity for the back tire to lock under fast downshifting while riding forcefully. Suzuki is no more unusual to quick shifters, fitting them to any semblance of the Hayabusa, GSX-S2000 and GSX-1000 GT, where they have ended up being one of the better frameworks. A quick shifter is just however great as the gearbox it very well might be working with. And Suzuki has an intimate knowledge of making smooth and exact gearboxes, as well as making them impenetrable. Suzuki has gone to Nissan for the radially mounted 4-cylinder calipers front and center, equivalent to the Honda CB750 Hornet, and you will have definitely no bad things to say. Starting nibble is shockingly delicate, which is ideally suited for fine control at slow rates on wet or free surface streets. Yet there is solid power and magnificent feel when the switch is pressed more enthusiastically, and they are certainty-rousing at quicker speeds. The ABS doesn't appear to ring in pointlessly, which simply demonstrates how well the body and suspension are set up, in spite of the absence of change. Dunlop RoadSmart 2 tires are fitted as standard, which aren't splendid, yet the suspension is sufficient to warrant paying for additional costly and stickier elastic. No maker deserving at least moderate respect essentially dispatches a bicycle any longer without there being basically at least frill promptly accessible. Suzuki is the same, and the list so far incorporates both common sense and execution extras. There are pannier and tank pack choices, while sportier riders will see the value in the accessibility of edge sliders and a solitary seat cowl, to ensure no pillion at any point upsets their riding delight. It is difficult to measure unwavering quality of the motor, as it is totally new and doesn't share anything with any motor that has gone previously. The twin balancer shaft format, where different producers manage with one, is perplexing, yet Suzuki thinks the advantages merit the penance regarding weight, intricacy, and mechanical drag. The adaptability is amazing, permitting you to drop to 2000 RPM 30 mph in sixth stuff without any smidgen of grab or shiver when the choke is opened wide. The motor isn't exceptionally worried, so assuming it follows Suzuki's other motor plans, it ought to end up being unbeatable. Generally speaking, quality is great, if not remarkable. The middleweight class is highly controversial, with phenomenal opponents to the Suzuki from any semblance of Honda, Win, KTM, BMW, and Yamaha. The Honda has a 4-chamber motor, the Victory is a triple chamber, and the rest are equal twins. As far as gear, it's head-to-head between the parcel of them, with nobody bicycle taking a lead. It's something similar with general equality, one bicycle better in one region, yet missing out in another. Conceivably, the main thing to bring up here is that the Suzuki is perfect and is a serious competitor for top distinctions, regardless of how close the last retribution will be. The Suzuki GSX-8S will cost $8,149, the Honda CB750 Hornet $7,900, the Victory Spear 660 $8,070, the Yamaha MTZ Sin Otto 1D9, the KTM 790 Duke 9 199, and the BMW F-Mine Hull R8 995.